Hello, everyone. You didn't go through what you went through by accident. And even when it felt overwhelming, even when the weight of it made you question your strength, there was something deeper being formed within you that you couldn't see at the time. Pain has a way of convincing you that it is permanent, that it defines you, that it marks the end of something meaningful. But in reality, pain is often the doorway to a level of growth, clarity, and resilience that comfort could never produce. What you endured was not meant to break you. It was meant to build something in you that could carry the weight of what is coming next. There were moments when you had to sit in silence with your thoughts, wondering why things happened the way they did, questioning your worth, questioning your direction, and maybe even questioning whether things would ever improve. Those questions were not signs of weakness. They were signs that your spirit refused to settle for emptiness. Even in your confusion, there was a quiet persistence within you that kept you moving forward, step by step, breath by breath. That persistence is not something everyone has, and it didn't come from nowhere. It was shaped in the middle of everything that tried to stop you. There are people who never had to face what you faced, and yet they may never understand the depth of strength that has been quietly growing inside. When life stripped away your comfort, your certainty, and sometimes even your confidence, it left behind something more valuable: awareness. You began to see yourself differently, to understand your limits, and more importantly, to recognize that your limits are not fixed. They expand when you decide not to quit. They stretch when you refuse to be defined by what hurt you. The truth is, the pain you went through was not wasted time. It was a process, even when it didn't feel like one. Every setback taught you patience. Every disappointment sharpened your discernment. Every closed door redirected you towards something that may not have made sense at the time, but is now aligning in ways you couldn't have orchestrated on your own. The unseen work happening within you is what prepares you to receive what is ahead without losing it, without mismanaging it, and without mismanaging it, and without being overwhelmed by it. There is a reason you didn't give up when giving up would have been easier. There is a reason you kept showing up even when your energy was low and your motivation was fading. That reason is tied to something greater than temporary circumstances. It is tied to a purpose that does not depend on convenience. The endurance you developed is not just about surviving hardship. It is about becoming someone who can handle responsibility, opportunity, and change without collapsing under pressure. At times, you may have felt overlooked, misunderstood, or even counted out by others. But what others failed to see was the internal transformation taking place in you. While they judged from the outside, something deeper was being refined within. Character was being built in the quiet moments. Faith was being strengthened in the unseen battles, and resilience was being embedded into your mindset so that when the next opportunity arrives, you are not shaken by fear or doubt, but grounded in the knowledge that you have already overcome much worse. What you call pain today may one day be recognized as preparation. The very experiences that felt like obstacles were also shaping your capacity to recognize value, to appreciate progress, and to remain steady when things begin to move in your favor. Not everyone can handle elevation, but you are being positioned in a way that ensures you will not self-sabotage when things improve. The lessons you learned in difficulty are the same lessons that will protect you in success. There is a quiet shift happening, even if it is not fully visible yet. Situations that once seemed stagnant are beginning to realign. Opportunities that once felt distant are slowly moving closer. And within you, there is a growing sense that you are no longer the same person you were when the journey began. That difference is not accidental. It is the result of everything you have endured, processed, and survived. You are not behind, you are not forgotten, and you are certainly not disqualified because of what you had to go through. In many ways, what you experienced has positioned you to recognize what others might overlook, to appreciate what others might take for granted, and to navigate what others might find overwhelming. Your journey has been shaping your awareness, your mindset, and your ability to respond rather than react. The reward that is ahead of you is not just about external change. It is also about internal alignment. It is about being able to receive what comes next with a level of confidence that is rooted in experience rather than assumption. You are stepping into a phase where your past no longer defines your limitations, but instead reinforces your capacity. The faith you held on to, even when it was difficult, is not going unnoticed in the bigger picture of your life. And as things begin to unfold, you may find that what once felt like unanswered questions are now being addressed through experiences, through opportunities, and through moments that confirm that none of it was random. The timing, the transitions, the unexpected turns, they all connect in ways that reveal a pattern of purpose rather than chaos. What you went through had meaning, even when it felt unclear, and that meaning is becoming more evident as you continue forward. There is still more ahead of you than what is behind you, and what is ahead carries the kind of fulfillment that validates every step you took to get here. Pain has a way of arriving uninvited, often at moments when you feel least prepared to carry it, yet it enters your life with a purpose that is not immediately visible. In the middle of it, pain can feel consuming, like it has taken over your thoughts, your emotions, and even your sense of direction. It can make you question decisions, relationships, timing, and even your own identity. But what is often misunderstood is that pain does not come to define you. It comes to refine you. It strips away illusions, exposes weaknesses, and reveals strengths that you may not have recognized within yourself before. When everything feels stable, it is easy to remain the same, but when discomfort enters your life, it forces movement, reflection, and transformation in ways that comfort never could. There are experiences that challenge your emotional limits, moments where you feel stretched beyond what you believed you could endure. In those moments, you are not just surviving events. You are developing internal muscles that strengthen your ability to endure future challenges. What feels overwhelming in the present becomes over time a reference point that reminds you of how far you have come. Each tear, each moment of silence, each time you had to gather yourself and continue forward contributed to a foundation that is stronger than it appears on the surface. Growth is not always visible while it is happening, but it is always happening when you are being tested. Pain also has a way of slowing you down, forcing you to observe what you may have previously ignored. In a fast-moving life, it is easy to overlook patterns, avoid difficult truths, or stay distracted from inner conflicts. However, when pain enters, it demands attention. It interrupts routine and creates space for reflection. In that space, you begin to process emotions that were previously suppressed, thoughts that were previously ignored, and lessons that were previously overlooked. Although this process can feel uncomfortable, it is necessary for clarity. Without it, you might continue moving in the same direction without realizing that adjustments are needed. Pain, in this sense, acts as a guide that redirects your focus toward growth and self-awareness. Another important aspect of pain is that it builds resilience, not through theory, but through lived experience. Resilience is not something that can be fully developed in theory or by observation alone. It is strengthened through moments where giving up seems easier than continuing. Each time you chose to continue despite difficulty, you reinforced your ability to persist. Over time, these choices accumulate, shaping a mindset that becomes less fragile and more grounded. You begin to understand that challenges, no matter how intense, are temporary states rather than permanent conditions. This understanding does not eliminate difficulty, but it changes how you respond to it, allowing you to navigate it with greater stability and confidence. Pain also deepens your empathy. When you have experienced hardship, you become more aware of the struggles others may be facing, even when they do not express them openly. This awareness allows you to connect with others on a more meaningful level. You become more patient, more understanding, and less quick to judge. The experiences that once felt isolating begin to serve as bridges that connect you to others who have gone through similar situations. In this way, pain not only transforms you internally, but also enhances your ability to relate to the world around you with compassion and understanding. In many cases, pain removes dependencies that may have limited your independence or growth. When certain comforts or supports are no longer available, you are required to rely more on your own inner resources. This shift encourages self-trust and self-reliance. You begin to recognize your own capacity to navigate uncertainty, make decisions, and stand firm in situations where external validation is absent. This development is crucial because it builds a sense of stability that is not dependent on external circumstances. Instead, it is rooted in your ability to adapt, adjust, and continue regardless of what is happening around you. There is also a refining process that occurs in your mindset through pain. Before challenges arise, it is easy to assume limits that may not actually exist. Pain challenges those assumptions by placing you in situations where you must exceed what you thought you were capable of. As you move through these experiences, your perspective begins to shift. What once seemed impossible becomes manageable, and what once felt overwhelming becomes something you can approach with greater confidence. This shift in mindset is one of the most valuable outcomes of enduring difficulty, as it expands your perception of what is possible in your life. Even though pain can feel isolating, it often serves as a catalyst for internal strength that becomes evident over time. The moments when you felt alone, uncertain, or overwhelmed were not moments of abandonment, but moments where internal growth was taking place in ways that did not require external validation. You were being shaped in environments that were not always comfortable, but were necessary for the development of endurance, clarity, and determination. These qualities do not emerge in ease, they emerge through challenge. Repetition and the decision to continue despite difficulty. Ultimately, the experiences you went through were not without meaning, even if that meaning was not clear at the time. Each stage of difficulty contributed to a larger process that is still unfolding. The strength you carry today is a direct result of what you have endured, processed, and overcome. What once felt like obstacles now serve as evidence of your capacity to grow, adapt, and move forward. The journey through pain is not a detour from your path. It is part of the path itself, shaping you into someone who is more aware, more capable, and more prepared for what lies ahead. There are moments in life where continuing feels like a choice that requires more strength than you believe you have. Yet somehow you continue anyway. That continuation is not accidental. It is the result of something within you that refuses to surrender to temporary conditions. Even when clarity is missing, even when emotions are heavy, and even when the outcome is uncertain, there is a part of you that keeps moving forward. That part is not driven by circumstances alone, but by an internal resolve that has been shaped through experience, reflection, and quiet determination. Faith is not always loud or visible. Sometimes it exists in the simple act of not giving up when everything around you suggests that you should. Faith is tested in seasons where answers are delayed, where expectations are not immediately met, and where progress feels slower than anticipated. In those seasons, doubt can begin to surface, creating internal tension between what you believe and what you are currently experiencing. This tension is not meant to destroy your belief, but to strengthen it. When faith is never challenged, it remains theoretical, but when it is tested, it becomes practical. You begin to understand that faith is not the absence of difficulty, but the decision to trust despite it. That decision, repeated over time, builds a deeper level of confidence that is not easily shaken by temporary setbacks. There is also something powerful about showing up consistently, even when motivation is low. Motivation tends to fluctuate based on emotions, circumstances, and external influences, but perseverance is rooted in commitment. When you continue to show up despite not feeling your best, you are demonstrating a level of discipline that strengthens your identity. Each time you choose action over hesitation, you reinforce the belief that your efforts matter, regardless of immediate results. Over time, this consistency compounds, creating progress that may not always be immediately visible, but is undeniably real. In many situations, the journey requires patience that is not easy to maintain. Waiting can feel uncomfortable, especially when you are aware of your potential and eager to see results. However, patience is not passive, it is an active state. It is an active state of trust that allows development to occur at the right pace. When things take longer than expected, it is often an indication that preparation is still underway. The waiting period is not wasted time. It is a phase where alignment is taking place, where timing is being refined, and where readiness is being established. Your continued effort during this period is a reflection of your trust in the process, even when the outcome is not yet visible. Doubt may attempt to convince you that your efforts are not enough or that your progress is insignificant, but your persistence challenges that narrative. Each step forward, no matter how small, contributes to a larger trajectory that is building momentum over time. Even when you feel like you are moving slowly, you are still moving, and movement in the right direction is always meaningful. The perception of stagnation, though, fitting comes from comparing your current position to an ideal outcome, but growth is not always linear. It involves phases of acceleration, reflection, adjustment, and continued effort. Recognizing this helps you remain grounded during periods where progress feels less apparent. There are also moments when external validation is absent, and you are left to rely solely on your internal conviction. These moments are significant because they reveal the depth of your belief in your own journey. When no one else is affirming your efforts, your ability to continue depends entirely on your internal perspective. This strengthens independence and builds confidence that is not dependent on approval from others. Over time, this internal validation becomes more valuable than external recognition because it is consistent, reliable, and aligned with your personal understanding of your purpose. Another important aspect of perseverance is the ability to learn from every experience rather than being discouraged by it. Each challenge presents an opportunity to develop new insights, refine your approach, and improve your understanding of how to navigate similar situations in the future. When you adopt a mindset that views challenges as lessons rather than setbacks, your ability to grow increases significantly. Instead of seeing obstacles as barriers, you begin to see them as part of the process that is shaping your development. This shift in perspective allows you to remain engaged and proactive rather than discouraged or passive. Faith also requires trust in timing, even when that timing does not align with personal expectations. There are situations where outcomes take longer than anticipated, not because they are out of reach, but because conditions are still aligning. During these periods, maintaining belief becomes essential. Trusting the timing of your journey means accepting that not everything is meant to happen immediately, and that delays do not necessarily indicate denial. Instead, they often indicate that preparation is still in progress, both externally and internally. As you continue to move forward, you begin to recognize patterns in your own resilience. You notice that despite challenges, you have consistently found ways to recover, adapt, and continue. This realization strengthens your confidence because it provides evidence of your ability to endure and overcome. Your past experiences become reference points that remind you of your capability, reinforcing the understanding that you are not encountering something entirely new without resources. You have already developed the strength required to handle difficulty, even if it sometimes feels hidden beneath the surface. In the process of continuing, you also develop a deeper sense of clarity about your direction. The experiences you go through help refine your priorities, values, and understanding of what truly matters. This clarity does not always come instantly. It develops gradually as you engage with different situations and reflect on their outcomes. Over time, you begin to make decisions with greater intention, guided by the lessons you have learned through both success and challenge. This intentionality enhances your ability to navigate future situations with more confidence and awareness. The act of continuing, even when uncertain, becomes a defining characteristic of your journey. It reflects a mindset that is not easily discouraged by temporary setbacks and is willing to invest effort without immediate guarantees. This mindset is what allows progress to accumulate over time, creating outcomes that are the result of consistent belief and sustained effort rather than isolated moments of intensity. There comes a point in every journey where what you have endured begins to empty you. Makes sense not because the circumstances have fully changed, but because you have changed in how you perceive and respond to them. The experiences that once felt overwhelming start to reveal their purpose through the strength, awareness, and capacity you now carry. What you went through was not random. It contributed to shaping a version of you that is more equipped, more grounded, and more prepared to handle opportunities that require stability and maturity. Positioning is not always about location or timing alone. It is also about internal readiness, and that readiness is developed through experience. When challenges arise, they often force you to develop skills that comfort would never demand. You learn how to manage uncertainty, how to stay composed under pressure, and how to make decisions without having all the answers. These abilities are not instantly acquired. They are cultivated through repeated exposure to situations that require adaptability. Each challenge you faced contributed to expanding your capacity, allowing you to handle more responsibility without becoming overwhelmed. Over time, this accumulation of experience positions you to step into environments where your presence is not only relevant but necessary. There is also a shift that happens internally when you begin to realize that your past does not limit your future. The experiences that once defined your struggles become the very foundation that supports your growth. Instead of viewing your history as a burden, you start to recognize it as a collection of lessons that have prepared you for what lies ahead. This shift in perspective is significant because it removes the weight of regret and replaces it with appreciation for the process. You begin to understand that every phase you went through contributed to shaping your character, strengthening your resilience, and refining your outlook on life. Positioning also involves becoming aware of the opportunities that align with who you are becoming. As you grow, your awareness expands, allowing you to recognize situations that are meant for you and distinguish them from those that are not. This discernment is not something that develops overnight. It is built through reflection, experience, and a willingness to learn from both success and failure. When you are properly positioned, you are not easily swayed by distractions or misaligned paths because you have developed clarity about your direction. That clarity allows you to focus your energy on what truly matters rather than scattering your attention across things that do not contribute to your growth. There is a quiet transformation that occurs when you move from reacting to circumstances to responding with intention. In earlier stages of your journey, you may have found yourself reacting emotionally to situations, allowing immediate feelings to guide your decisions. However, through experience, you begin to develop the ability to pause, reflect, and choose responses that align with your long-term goals. This shift indicates growth in emotional intelligence and self-awareness, both of which are essential for navigating complex situations effectively. Being positioned for something greater requires not only external opportunity, but also internal discipline to handle what comes with it. Another important aspect of positioning is the alignment between your preparation and your opportunities. Opportunities often arrive when you have reached a level of readiness that allows you to maximize them. If those opportunities had come earlier, before the necessary growth took place, they may not have been fully utilized or sustained. The timing of your experiences, including the challenges you face, contributed to ensuring that when opportunities arise, you are capable of managing them effectively. This alignment is not accidental. It reflects a process where preparation meets opportunity at the right moment. As you continue to grow, you begin to notice that your mindset has evolved. Situations that once seemed intimidating now appear manageable. Challenges that once felt like obstacles are now viewed as stepping stones. This change in perception is a direct result of the experiences you have accumulated. Each experience has added to your understanding, allowing you to approach new situations with a sense of confidence that is rooted in familiarity rather than fear. You are no longer navigating blindly. You are moving forward with insight that has been earned through lived experience. Positioning also involves a level of responsibility that comes with growth. As you become more capable, the expectations placed on you, whether by yourself or others, naturally increase. This is not a burden, but a reflection of your expanded capacity. Being trusted with more requires demonstrating consistency, reliability, and the ability to maintain composure under pressure. These qualities are developed over time and are essential for sustaining progress when opportunities begin to materialize. Your past experiences have already been training you for this level of responsibility, even if it was not immediately obvious at the time. There is also a sense of alignment that becomes evident when you begin to operate in spaces that match your growth. You feel more at ease, more confident, and more capable of contributing meaningfully. This sense of alignment is an indication that you are no longer forcing yourself into environments that do not suit your development. Instead, you are naturally gravitating towards situations that complement the person you have become. This alignment enhances your effectiveness and allows you to function at a higher level because you are no longer working against your own growth, but in harmony with it. The journey that brought you to this point has been instrumental in shaping not only your abilities, but also your mindset. You have developed resilience through difficulty, clarity through reflection, and confidence through experience. These elements combine to position you for opportunities that require more than surface level readiness. They require depth, understanding, and the ability to navigate complexity with composure. Your experiences have equipped you with these qualities, ensuring that you are not just stepping into something new, but stepping into something you are prepared for. As you move forward, the recognition that your past has contributed to your current state allows you to embrace the future with a sense of assurance. You are no longer defined by where you started or the challenges you encountered along the way. Instead, you are defined by how those experiences have shaped your growth and prepared you for what is ahead. The position you are stepping into is not accidental. It is the result of a process that has been unfolding over time, aligning your development with the opportunities that are now within reach. In the end, the journey you have walked was never just about surviving hardship. It was about becoming someone capable of carrying strength. What's about becoming someone capable of carrying strength, stone and purpose at a deeper level. Every moment of pain, every season of waiting, every instance where you had to push forward without clear answers contributed to shaping the person you are today. What once felt like setbacks were actually steps in a process designed to refine your mindset, strengthen your faith, and prepare you for opportunities that require more than surface-level readiness. You are not the same person who started this journey, and that transformation is evidence that nothing you went through was wasted. As you look ahead, it becomes clear that your experiences have positioned you for something greater than what you could have accessed before. The growth you have achieved internally now matches the level of responsibility, opportunity, and blessing that is approaching your life. You are moving into a phase where clarity replaces confusion, where confidence replaces doubt, and where purpose begins to line more visibly with your actions. The struggles you endured have not held you back. They have equipped you with the resilience, awareness, and strength needed to step into the next level of your life with stability and conviction.